Sort of circling back to something you said earlier is as suppliers are bringing in ESG solutions, that must be. I mean, I'm a little bit stating the obvious here, how important that is to the mines now that when they're coming to you, or you're coming to them and starting that communication, that you can clearly lay out the value add of of ESG, because they need to do it, and now they need the suppliers to be able to provide that, as opposed to the mines having to figure out every layer of it. So, I mean, how important of a driver has that been in just developing these business relationships globally now?
Yeah, it's huge for us. In the past, the use of our products was always ESG and CSR, just because they're making the mine or the operation more sustainable. But through a program like Cypher Green Roads, I mean, it's it's a phenomenal approach, because it gives the mine the points that they're looking for in terms of their ESG strategies with the
Yeah,
community. So it screams social license to operate, like I talked about with the Las Bambas example, or
yeah.
even with Baffinland. Um, but at the end of the day, they're I don't think a lot of other suppliers are really looking at it at the way that we are. I think that they're just
Mm.
they sell what they sell. They might be selling a widget to a mine which is used for a certain area of the operation. We got very lucky in the sense that, like I said, our products are actually environmentally friendly and solve environmental problems. And so, through the use of green roads, we could tie in, introducing our technology into a new region with actually getting it down to the very same community, which is the lifeblood of supporting that industry within the region. And so, it's a really nice win-win situation.
You have a slogan, "Always do what's right." Now that, I mean, it's a very interesting slogan. Was that at the beginning, or when did that come in as the main the main flag of the company?
You know what? It was a couple of years ago. It's funny. As the CEO, I've always been into business development and marketing. Those are two areas that I'm interested in. We are in the middle of a big sort of a big marketing rejig, and they'd come up with some slogan or tagline which I just wasn't into at all. And actually, I came up with that one myself in my sleep. Always do what's right. It's as a when you're a CEO but come from an entrepreneurial background, you live and breathe what you do. And I've always been fighting personally. It feels like against, or it feels like my entire adult life has been a struggle against, technologies, or and I don't even want to call them technologies. It's the old way, the dinosaur approach of doing things. We talked about using water before, but using salt and using oil are two other major competitors of ours, which is just insane. I mean, this is 2022. To think that we're still allowing salt and oil to be sprayed on our roads to control dust or to stabilize them is crazy. I mean, it's like a band-aid approach. It's solving one environmental issue by causing another one. It's amazing how much of an uphill battle sometimes it feels like to get people to change, to switch their minds. And so one day we just came up with the idea of always do what's right. It embodies the essence of using our products is the right thing to do. But ultimately, it's the philosophy we take in terms of everything we do with with people, with the team members that we have, with the community, with things like Cypher Green Roads. We donate 15% of annual profits to charities. So I should have mentioned there's a minimum volume requirement in terms of dollar values for
Oh
green
yeah,
roads
I was
projects to
reading that. Yeah.
exist. If you don't, it's not too high. It's 250,000 US dollars.
Mhm.
If you're below that cap, we actually still donate 15% of our annual profits to local charities as well. So really, every single time somebody's making a purchase or an investment in a site for technology, we're actually giving back to the community. And then of course it screams volumes to the actual products that we're developing ourselves. I mean, I talked about not using salt and not using oil. When we're selecting the criteria for our raw materials that are going to our products, we have a zero tolerance policy for anything that's toxic in any way, shape, or form. And so always do what's right really just speaks to a philosophy of how we want to make an impact in this world. When we leave the world, we want it to be a better place than when we got here.